panel discussion, another power-packed session you are going to witness today. And once of all, thank you once again, everyone, for joining us here today. It brings me immense pleasure that we have such elite gathering from all over India, and thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining in. Do you believe that every person who is here to learn and exchange views, ideas? So I believe that, being an anchor, I've seen that holding the audience since evening is a little difficult, but you guys, being an amazing audience, you are still here. I can see still full house, and it's really overwhelming that we have such great response. So can we clap for yourself, everyone? For yourself, yes. Let's share the moment, let's share the support we have in each other. All right, so moving forward without taking much time, the next panel discussion is going to be about From Silos to Synergy, addressing cultural and change resistance in DevOps implementation. The moderator for this session is going to be Mr. Praveen Bist, CIO, Amrita Hospitals. But before we call the entire panel on the dais, let me introduce our moderator. Mr. Praveen has been a part of Amrita University, which has been ranked top among India's private universities, and is currently serving as CIO of Amrita Hospitals, Faridabad. Since Amrita has opened up one of the largest tertiary care campus in Delhi NCR, with over 2,700 plus bed hospital, along with Medical and Nursing College in Faridabad, Mr. Praveen has been appointed as the CIO to take the leadership role here in planning and implementation of best IT solutions and to leverage IT to provide best service to patients as well as employees. This facility has state-of-the-art world-class infrastructure on par with any leading hospital in world, with international standard research center integrated with the hospital and medical college for latest medical research. They have also been founder member of Amrita Technologies, which focuses on bringing affordable healthcare solutions with technology innovation. For the past several years, have been heading the growth of Amrita Medical in the USA, where the Amrita HIS product has been certified to the health and greatest of healthcare standards. With this, everyone, let me introduce the panelist for this session. It is going to be starting with Mr. Tushar Jaiswal, Associate Director, DevOps, S&P Global, followed by Aseem Garg, VP Engineering, Internshala, followed by Harsh Sarohi, SVP and Head of Technology, TradeIndia.com, Infocom Network Private Limited, followed by Gopal Sharma, AVP Engineering, Junglee Games, followed by Shashilpi Krishan, VP of Infrastructure, MakeMyTrip. Last but not least, Dilawar Rajput, Director of Engineering, DevOps, and Infra MobiQuick.
So good afternoon, everyone. And like she just mentioned, I really appreciate all of you being here. I understand that after lunch, keeping the attention is not so easy. So we'll also try to make this session more interactive and meaningful, and hopefully you'll have a lot to take away from it. I will not wait for Tushar, but as you all know, DevOps by the nomenclature is very easy. You bring the two teams together, but in practicality, it's very, very challenging, very, very difficult. And we have a set of great IT leaders here who have done it in their organizations. So we'll get to hear from them. And the cultural, okay, Tushar is here. Come. So it's not just about implementing a tool. You can always buy a tool and you can get your budget allocated from the management, but to implement is to go and break that barriers. She mentioned from silos to synergy, and there are a lot of cultural issues, there are a lot of change resistance, and of course you are bringing two different teams having different objectives in mind, but how do you ensure that at the end, from the user perspective, you are bringing a quick development delivery cycle and I being from a hospital's background, can really understand sometimes if you have a deployment which doesn't go very well, you can really face the blunt of it. So with that said, I'll not take too much time, and I'll request each one of the panelists here to quickly, in a minute, just introduce themselves, like which organization you are from and what kind of work do you do.
Sure. Thank you, Praveen. And I'm really sorry for I was just being outside. I thought like it would start later. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Tushar Jaiswal. I am Associate Director DevOps at S&P Global. We are from Digital Solutions Divisions, and I am leading a team of DevOps like who manages and governance the enterprise-wide DevOps tools. We called it as a developer experience team. So we basically, hear out the developers what challenges they are facing, and we are figuring out like what framework, what right tools we can, enable it in their complete SDLC lifecycle. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm Aseem. I lead the engineering team at Internshala. So for those who don't know about Internshala, so Internshala is recruitment and upskilling platform. So we provide internships and jobs to students, and we have an online trainings platform where users or students can upskill themselves. So I lead development, security, and operations team at Internshala. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Gopal Sharma, and I am a AVP engineering and largely responsible for DevOps and cloud infrastructure and practices in Junglee Games. Junglee Games is it is a real money gaming company, and DevOps play a very vital role in terms of the scalability, stability, and multiple aspects in terms of the practices and security that is very important in terms of the gaming industry in today's scenarios. So a lot of actually burden on the shoulder on a DevOps. Thanks.
Hi, this is Shashilpi. I'm VP Infrastructure for MakeMyTrip. So it's been 9 years I'm with the organization, like handling DevOps, security, developer experience, and site reliability, database administrations, big data teams, and the compliance. So that's my role at MakeMyTrip. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Myself Dilawar, I'm heading the DevOps team in OneMobiCook. OneMobiCook is just a Indian financial and technology company which provide the users for wallet platforms and for payment-based system platforms. And we also just trying to provide a easy to user level experience in the payment system in India. And I'm heading the infrastructure team in MobiCook and part of compliance security as well. So thanks for joining here.
Hi everyone, myself Harsh. I had technology at Trade India. Trade India is a B2B marketplace. We have 10 million registered SMEs and MSMEs with us. The idea is to get them online. Thanks.
Great, thank you again for a quick introduction. We'll jump on to our panel discussion. So basically I prepared some questions, and I'll go around, and I might not go in a sequence, so pardon me for that. So first question, Aseem, for you is what do you think are the key cultural challenges an organization would face, typically when they're adopting traditional, having separate dev and ops team to moving to DevOps kind of a culture?
So it's a very great question, and like it's faced by every organization when they are trying to implement DevOps. So I will say it's not cultural challenge. It would be resistance which comes into picture when we are implementing DevOps. So when we are trying to bring any change in the organization, it's not specific to DevOps. It could be any change, be it structural, be it technology, be it framework. So it's resistance which comes into picture at that moment. Second is the leadership. Leadership plays a key role in implementing new things, new changes in the organization. So junior folks, like junior team members, look towards their immediate leaders. They'll not look to the management, head of department, CTO, CEOs, like what they are trying to implement. So we have to ensure that leaders are confident enough in communicating this particular change from top to bottom, that we are bringing this for your betterment. You'll see the results in near future. Third, I want to touch security. not platform or cloud security, it's personal security, right? So when teams are working in silos, they have developed their comfort zone. So each and everyone has shown their expertise. But the moment we ask development team and operations team to work together, so they feel that we are hitting their security, we are stealing their private space. So I guess that's my answer to this question.
Definitely, I totally agree. End of the day, we are all humans. We're still not AI bots, right?
Yeah, right.
So we do have resistance to change. So wonderful. Thank you for that. Next question I have for Harsh. Harsh is sitting all the way at the end. So Harsh, how can an organization helps a team overcome, especially this fear that they have, fear of failure, when you have these two different teams having different objectives to begin with, but then trying to combine them together and come up with a unified goals for them.
So let's be honest. Every developer, they have a fear that ये production पे जाएगा तो maybe ये फट जाएगा कुछ भी हो. Every Friday we face things like I'll delay this release till Monday. सर इसको Friday नहीं ले जाते. And this is what the fear is within the organization, which delays the releases, kills the innovation, kills the experimentation. And so how do we cater it? So first thing is, whenever there is an incident, whenever something goes wrong, we should do a blameless postmortem for that. And we should not, start with who did this, who's responsible for this. The better way would be to look at the systems, what went wrong with the system, what are the gaps in the processes, pull the team together, start asking them what happened, where did we miss, where did the system go wrong. And it should not be about punishment. No punishment, only the system will become stronger. So that is one point. And then whenever you are going for a release, I would say let's do it in a controlled environment. Rather than releasing it for 100% of the users, release it for the 5%. That would bring in the confidence in the developer as well. It will kill the anxiety कि ये production पे गया तो some haphazard will happen or something like that. They know that they will go for 5%. And then whatever the results are from there, then fine tune the system. Then most important, I believe, is encourage the risk taking ability for the developers. Because I'll give an example from my organization. So we have a legacy. We are a legacy company. It's been in business for last 35 years. So we had our code written in Perl. One of the developers, he approached me and he said, "Sir, let's rewrite this in Go." And then we planned it like this, and he took the initiative. We went live with it, and the performance degraded rather than improving. And so rather than telling him that you did it wrong, it's better to celebrate that initiative that he did it. He took it positively and then went back, rewrote the complete code, and then fine-tuned that API. The response time was decreased by 60%. You can see the kind of confidence that the developer gets. So I think DevOps without a culture like this is nothing, right? The aim of DevOps should be that you build a culture where people can dare to try out things. So that is how we build that culture.
Great.
So Praveen, I'll just add like one line
Please,
here.
please.
See, since the fear of failure is something which not just DevOps face, this is faced by every individual. And every individual at the end of the play, be in any team, is playing a role. But at the end of the day, individual is an individual. So just think like whenever and how it happened for me and how I face it is that I am in a travel industry who is, let's say, where people are booking tickets. The maximum risk is somebody's, let's say, money would get stuck for some time. Eventually that will get resolved. Think about engineers working in ISRO. Their failure means millions of dollars. People working in actually flight industry, like see what happened in Ahmedabad, that Air India crash. So the risk of failure is much, much, much higher there to what we do. Like maybe, I'm not sure who is in what industry, but I think taking an analogy or like seeing like the quantum of the risk to our failure is very minimal. So like go ahead, accept the failures rather than, creating the fear out of it.
Agreed, and I think leadership overall plays a very, very important role, right? It's how you nurture the whole team. The leader can turn that fear into maybe a nightmare, or it can turn that fear into maybe encouragement. So absolutely.
So
Totally
I also want to add. So yeah, risk is everything impossible in every case, but I think we should adopt fail fast, learn fast. I think that would also work.
Yes, yes. Fail fast. Better to fail fast, fail sooner than later, as we say.
I think
Every incident
silo is also
is a
one of
learning
the
opportunity.
reasons that how much you communicate to the other department or other stakeholders. Your failure, obviously failure will be there, but that will be accepted as a respectable manner because they know each other better, they know each other's problems better. If you will work in a silo, then 100% that will be the blame game always, and it will not be a healthy sign.
Great. So I guess by working together, the fear gets divided as opposed to getting addition or multiplication. Okay, wonderful. So Tushar, next question for you. What approach can be used to build synergy? We're talking about how two teams have to work together. So how to build that synergy and collaboration? And if you can give some examples from your experience.
Yeah. So Praveen, that I think this is the biggest challenge which every organization and big corporate right now facing. There are multiple business units and divisions within single umbrella, and there are multiple DevOps teams and another engineering teams. And the big challenge is like how they can break the silos and bring the synergy across the teams. So first, I would like to say that it's not tested. There is no any theory that you can bring it in.
No formula.
Yeah, no formula. But what I'll say that first, as other colleagues mentioned, that it comes from the leadership. They need to be be with you and say that okay, go and do that. So there are multiple approaches which I can say, but first organization need to change their mindset and team structures. So one of the approaches which we are currently implementing in our organization, that cross-functional team, that devs, QA and security teams, they are working in isolations, and if you can bring all the teams together and also involve their involved with shared goal and common KPIs, so they can take the responsibilities together, and you can bring collaboration over there. So there is a one thing which I have mentioned, and another part is which I like to mention, that you can also promote inner source within the organization. This is really good, and we are also trying to implement the inner source. If you use the inner source, that the team which are in maybe working in different time zone and with different geographical region, but they will have the visibility that what other teams they are working on it, and you can also create a community and culture that they can come and collaborate. So it will not something like that you need approval from your manager, and from top of that there is no hierarchy, there is no roles is defined, you can just go and collaborate. So inner source, I would say that really helps bring the synergy within the organization, and it will really helps to break down the silos. Another approach is what I can see here, that many enterprise have after the acquisitions and so many things, they are using this older existing tools within their teams. But if you standardize the tool chain, it will really help to understand what is the common problem. They can collaborate with each other, and it will really helps them to collaborate and break the silos. And not but least that knowledge transfer, I would say that this is really important, that you can have regular connects, you can have a system demo, or maybe just a conversation over the lunch will really helps to build empathy and connect over the across the team. So I think these are few points we can implement it, but as I mentioned, it's very hard to implement.
Easier said than
Easier
done.
said, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree, having cross-functional teams, doing knowledge sharing and having such informal kind of platform,
Yeah.
maybe during lunch hour, as you said, to have them interact and break that barrier.
Yeah.
I think it's finally humans like that interaction, right? One-to-one,
Exactly.
and personal touch is always helpful. So great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So my next question is for Gopal. So Gopal, how do you think an organization effectively measure the success, of implementing, say, a DevOps? Because if it is just kept to it, unless you track it, unless you monitor it, you cannot, say whether it has succeeded
Very
or not.
important things. See, everyone knows, whosoever is in a DevOps, that they are working very hard, but their recognition is something is very challenging because everyone feel they are infrastructure people. That's how they are managing our server. But how much they are contributing to the business, that is something important. And, but yes, there are multiple aspects nowadays actually that, especially that those things covered in SREs especially. And we also face the same problem in a same organization and in a past, but in last 2-3 years, what we have done actually, we adopted few best practices that I just want to share. One, and I will categorize those actually best practices in a few categories. For example, one is incident management lifecycle. Everyone knows that alert comes and DevOps and SREs has to actually jump into solving that problem, but how we will measure that that problem is being solved and how much productivity has been increased. So for that is a mean time to resolve, mean time to acknowledge, mean time to engagement. So those type of KPIs generally we use and we actually measure with multiple tools. A lot of tools has been showcased actually outside. Those are very much capable actually for measuring incident management lifecycle. And that also help in a blameless post-mortem or RCA, you can say. That is very important, especially. Then if we'll talk about the uptime product performance is concerned, then a few technical KPIs comes in a picture nowadays is SLIs, a service level indicator, SLOs, uptime, SLAs, error budgets. So all these KPIs, if you are calculating properly, then you will be able to properly measure that how much is the uptime of your product and how much DevOps is contributing for making your product stable. And in terms of the culture and process front, one is the process is important, and there are a lot of tools, Slack, Confluence, Jira, those are actually a process metrics can be used, and it is integrated with each and every tools, which helps for a productivity measurement per se. And apart from that, your CI/CD health check, how your CI/CD is behaving, how much your IAC coverage is there in a system, how much is your drift coverage has been improved in the systems. So all these indicators which helps actually for productivity manners, that how frequently you are provisioning your infrastructure and how much actually you are saving a time. Then in terms of the build and deployment, we can measure the frequency of your deployments actually, because if it is getting increased, then obviously this is the productivity increase. That and how much you reduce the a failure of your build. That is also very important, right, in a DevOps perspective. And in terms of the security, I'll say because a lot of security checks require in your CI/CD pipeline, which actually somewhere improve or somewhere minimize the vulnerabilities of your code. So that is also important. That also we can measure. So there are multiple aspects. These are the few aspects where we are actually creating our own KPIs, and that is somewhere business is now understanding that if we are showcasing those KPIs, then it can easily relate to the business, and business can actually measure it on a end user satisfactory chart, that if it is improving, this means my all KPIs are also improving. So these are the few actually metrics that we generally use.
Great. Definitely we have to measure. Without that, no monitoring and no tracking.
Correct.
Great. So next question, Dilavar, I'll have for you. What strategies do you think can help nurture a culture of having continuous learning? As we all are saying that we have to have that break that silos and have the continuous learning. And among the engineering team, how do you implement that based on your again experience in your current organization?
So hi. So this is a live example here, right? How can we learn from each other? There are multiple vendors are here, right? Multiple different type of technology person are here. So we can learn from each other. They are like something are belonging to Java proper backend engineering department, something from product management side thing, something from operations specialized, right? So different type of expert SMEs are also here. So we can learn. These are one of the live example. And if you talk about to specific to your teams, right? So in the team you have to just provide the open culture. Just keep the open communication among the teams. Just make some SOPs, standard operating procedures, documents. Suppose if anyone is joining in your new teams, right? So how can he learn faster? So at least you should have some SOPs so that he can just join the teams and he can refer those SOPs. And after that, you can just arrange some internal trainings. So this will just minimize your efforts, and as well, he can also learn much more faster. You can just also connect your vendors to arrange some at least quarterly trainings from the vendors. Suppose you are using New Relics, Datadog, AWS, you can ask them to just set up a workshop because we are paying for them, right? So at least they can services. They can save some like arrange the workshop for learners. So you can also, if you take a live example, suppose in any organization you can't take a production access, right? You can't do any implementation. What you can do? So I am also following this approach. You can just make a POC account, right? In the POC account, you can put some restriction limits. Ki like one of the EC2 service, you can only use $10, right? You can put some restrictions. So that would be useful for your team members. How can they do the POC? You can also provide across the engineering teams. In same my organization, I am following this approach. I am just providing the access to different teams. They do the POC. They self-development of the things. And after that, once they do the POC, then we can deliver the staging environment. So once staging, then we can only deploy in the production environment. So instead of burden on me directly, I always ask them, you can do the POC if you can do the POC. Else if you cannot do the POC, then you come to the DevOps teams. So this is also an open culture where you can just establish in the team things. You can, if your management allowing to just provide the access like Udemy, right, Coursera, you can purchase some course from that company as well and you can provide some offers. You can get like 3-month course, 6-month course, 1-year course, but it depends on your management and how can you just utilize those skills. So it also depends on that as well, right? Other courses as well, you can just, same example here, like I'm joining here, just you ask your team members, you can go to the join the events, just utilize your skills, discuss with the peoples, make your networks, make your connects, and that can be helpful for your increase the skills, learning the skills, or make the learning is your part of DNA. I think that would be more, because the DevOps is also choice, but is DevOps, there is no limit. You can learn which you want to at level. So always do your best, try to learn, always try to adopt new things to grow yourself, grow your teams, and grow your organizations, which is always a impactful outcome for any organizations.
Wonderful, very, very great, thoughtful points. Definitely involve your vendors. I'm sure they'll be happy to come and give demos because then it also gives them opportunity for upsell, right?
Yeah.
And then, you can ask them to give some POC kind of environment, absolutely. And then attending conferences like this, I'm sure all of you are, going to take something out of it. So definitely a great point.
Yeah, thank you.
So my question now to Shashilpi, how can you make DevOps, which is primarily tools first, instead of making that have it more like people first? Because finally we are team members, right? And they have to be brought into the folds of your transformation.
Yeah, I think question makes even more sense now because we are on the brink of that AI era where like somehow tools have started winning or overpowering that arm wrestling game. It looks like at least that tools are almost overpowering. Daily there are like corner talks, like will there be a world where only AI is leading and we are following? So I think the question does make a sense, but I just want to make one thing clear that, I mean, it is always people who help you evolve, right? Tools help you scale, tools help you like implement, but it is your ideas, people ideas who like makes impact, right? So hence like culture of people first is really important. I'll tell you a story like how it works in MakeMyTrip at least. So DevOps has a like flexibility or a gift where we don't have product. They don't have product teams like engineering teams. So they are not told to what to do. So DevOps is their own product. They decide like what they want to do. So hence, so as DevOps people, we went to our engineering teams. Like, what do you want from us? And we were surprised to know what they wanted is that we don't want to come to you. That make something that so that we don't want to come to you, right? And then, okay, then we asked that what is that you come to us? The number one thing is that we don't know how to take access of this thing or that thing. That this is their primary, the primary pain point. And what we think their primary pain point is that how fast they can deploy. And then we were putting all our energy on how to make deployment faster. But their pain point was that we don't want to come to you at least to know like how to get something, like how to get access, how to troubleshoot. When a build failure has happened in Jenkins, how to debug that failure. You guys tell us, sometimes you tell us to wait because 3 of us are already in their lines. Like, first of all, why it fails so many times, right? So, but things happen. So what we did is, we started building a chatbot. Now with the rise of this again, LLMs and thing, so we created a RAG-based system in which we created FAQ documents from across IT, network, and DevOps and SREs. We used it as a context for the AI model.
Correct.
And eventually that is, let's say, helping them ask questions that how to get this access at least, and the next step is, to integrate it with the systems so that they can reset. You'd be surprised to know out of 1,000 engineers, 600 doesn't know how to reset their system password. Every time they'll walk up to IT and they know how to reset this IT password. And then there would be a lot of new people joining in, right? And they don't know what the processes are, how to do a couple of basic things. So that is the real problem. So when you reach out to people, you get to know problems. And then you try to solve them, you build tools to solve them. And hence, people first and tools later. But definitely tools are required, and because without them you cannot scale. And so that is like how I take this question, like, people first and tools first.
Wonderful. It's like they say, if you don't find solution first and then try to find a problem to solve it, you find which problem you have and then try to solve it, right?
But at least medical industry does, I think, is reverse. They find vaccine first, then they decide that, okay, now
I'll be
let's
biased,
throw the
so
problem.
I will not answer that question. So now one quick, please.
Few points here. So trust also plays a key role in making it a people first rather than tool first. So trust is beyond everything. Like trust, if people are trusting one another, I think it's really easy to implement any technology or any change in an organization. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we have some time left. So I'm going to have this question, which will be kind of common to all of you, but I'll go, starting with you, Tushar. So say you are given another chance. You all have been through the DevOps journey in your organization. Say you switch to a new company who are starting this operation, or in your own company. What would you do different, in terms of how would you start? Will it be the same journey that you did, or you'll do something different which you have learned, you might have made a mistake, or how would you approach it this time in the second attempt?
So Praveen, as a DevOps engineer, what new guys and everyone, they are thinking okay, what tool stack? The first things they ask what tool stacks you have in your organization? Am I familiar with those or not? That is the things people are, and as other colleagues, they have mentioned that we are giving the priority to tools. We are not thinking about how people, empowering people and skilling them. So for me now, at being this position, that I really have some, something experience from my past, and I will try not to, the failure things, I will take it as not to do it in the current organization. And also it's depends upon I have, during this lunch time, I have talked to, few of the people here, and everyone, they have certain limits in their organizations, right? just like I know Dilawar like from more than a decade, and we worked together from more than 5 years. And we were from the legacy, team, where we started as a career, like we went to, data center and do the installation by own. We deploy the applications, everything we do, and we come back and monitor and also support. So that kind of experience we have. And those experience, you won't believe, that really help us now what we are here. And it's really helped me to, understand what is the, exact reason behavior of that issue, and those, help me to, solve it. So we know like what is behind the cloud and how it's worked. So my take is like you learn from your, past and failure, and you don't want to, repeat
Make
it in,
it
yeah.
repeat it
So
again.
that is the one thing I would say. And for the younger engineers and the new generation, don't, rely on the tools, because every day new tools are coming, new things are coming. DevOps is all about culture and collaboration, nothing else.
Wonderful, wonderful. Aseem, your thoughts on that?
So I guess the answer is already given by Tushar, so I don't have anything.
But
to
one
add.
thing that you think you made a mistake and you would do it differently.
Definitely, I'll learn from that mistake and I don't make a repetitive mistake. So I'll switch to another method or the thing which is working right in my existing journey. So I'll start from that point.
Okay. Gopal, can you give one example, specific example if you have one?
Yeah, actually, I worked in a different organizations, and obviously each and every organization and their categories are completely different. So I know that DevOps practices on a baseline is the same across all organizations, but yes, their outcomes are a bit different based on their own product, their own priorities. Then obviously, I will use my own experience, my all best practices, but that somewhere I'll have to sync up with the priority of the organizations and with the priority of, for example, suppose in my past organization, I was in a very techy organization where a lot of experiment has been done, a lot of tools has been used, but I blindly cannot use all these practices in a new organizations because they have their own thinking in terms of the technology per se, right? So I'll have to somewhere sync up with them, and I'll have to start journey with their own business priorities, and I'll have to filter and bare minimum required tools and services which is important to their business, that I will use it. And then I will motivate or encourage them to actually think of the vision of DevOps.
Sure.
So those steps are very, very important. Largely people fail, and later on the blame game comes that a lot of expenditure is getting increased because of the DevOps tools and services, which is somewhere important for business, somewhere not important for business.
Sure. So yeah, basically having your actions aligned to organizations, goals. Shashilpi, what do you think? How would you take it up if you were given a second chance at it?
So second attempt has to be better for sure, but that's a dream. I'll be happy if I can repeat even this.
Okay.
So, that is what I feel at least. But honestly, there's nothing in particular in my career, but I would love to go back to at least 7th or 8th grade from where I started, where I was not listening to my parents, when I was completely immature, like they were telling me something else.
Wonderful. We need a round of applause for this. Great.
I mean, so that route, if I can fix that, perhaps, lot of things would get eventually better. But somehow, unfortunately, there is no way, going back.
No
and
going
fix those
back.
routes. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Please, Dilawar.
So I will also align with Gopal. If I will plan to switch, so first of all, I will align management OKR, because DevOps is in minimum baseline standard is in every organization same. So first of all, I will align according to the management OKR, and you can just understand the example of like that. Right now, everyone or young generation just trying to learn the AWS cloud, Azure clouds, but they don't know about the base of Linux. And mostly the Linux is the base of DevOps. So from where we have grown, Tushar already said, we went to data center, we installed at that time, CentOS installation, right? That is very hard installation. We have to deploy multiple dependencies. So everyone should understand what is the base to grow yourself. So every soon just clear your base, and after that you should grow.
So strengthen the roots, like they say,
Yeah,
you know.
root always should be strong.
Give time for roots to dig
First
deep, and
understand-
then you can climb up.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Right.
Harsh, your thoughts on that?
So I will like to answer it from the cultural point of view, which is the topic. So I would say, like, whenever you join an organization as a leader, so you will bring in new people as well. And then there are traditional people, especially I come from legacy organization. Like I joined 2 years back. Whenever you are doing a DevOps or infrastructure, whenever you're touching it, it's a major change. Whenever you are re-architecting everything. It's very important for you to respect the legacy. It is very important that you bring the traditional developers on the same page with the new developers that you have hired, the DevOps team that you have hired. So from the culture point of view, it is very important that you respect them, you take their inputs because they have their own wisdom. They have learned from the past failures. If they don't open up to you, you might end up in a deadlock.
Okay, good. So we have still few minutes left. So I'll have a very rapid fire question, and I'll start from you, Harsh. Okay. So the question to you is: any conversation today cannot end without talking about AI. So how do you think AI is affecting or will be affecting DevOps in less than 1 minute per person?
I think AI will help a lot in terms of replicating the incidents, improving the DevOps, catering to the incidents automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So all those kind of things you can do with the numerous number of things that you can do. I'm
Great.
just pointing a few.
Dilavar?
Yeah, so people are saying, see, generative AI can replace your jobs, but I'm still not aligned on this part. If you have, again, it's your base is clear and you have good commands on the things, still you have to survive in the market. No, can you relieve your jobs? So just keep updated yourself, keep learning, you can continue in the market.
Yes, because AI is changing so rapidly, right? Very true. Shashilpi, your thoughts?
Just like one line. So AI is good, but I only fear the day when AI starts creating AI. I mean, that perhaps we need to look for. When it starts reproducing, that might be a problem. So we need
We
to have a
already
check.
know reproduction in India has taken us to making it the populous country. So what if AI starts reproducing? Yes. And that too self-reproducing, right? If
In all sense, I hope you got what I meant.
Yeah, it should not be, otherwise humans are not required, and then all robots will take our place. But yes, actually, we should use wherever actually it is useful. For example, we are using an observability area where the monitoring and alert detections, incident detections, auto detections, or self-healing, all these areas where actually there are opportunities where we can minimize the incident time, and so those places AI we are using, but yes, it cannot be used everywhere, just like everyone is saying.
Aseem?
So Gen AI, like after the introduction of Gen AI, we see that AI has been taking up jobs as well. So I want to say AI is really helpful even in DevOps, but manual intervention or human intervention is required at this moment. Like we cannot solely rely on AI to take decisions and do whatever it's decided. I guess at that point, human intervention is required.
Absolutely. Tushar?
So we have, attended so many sessions today from different vendors, and one thing was common AI. AI वो salt है जो हर एक toothpaste company को चाहिए, correct? So within our organization we are using AI drastically, and if you see, like if GitHub is here, like we are one of the biggest client. We are using Copilot and other all features like Gas, and where AI is enabled. So we need to be mindful when you are using AI, any tools, any platform, that you need to be, review by your InfoSec team, or everything like data protection and those kind of things first needs to be reviewed. Otherwise, it's as good as that salt in every toothpaste.
Okay. So great. I think thanks to all the panelists here. Great thoughts. Thanks for sharing your valuable insights. One thing I would add, when we do sessions, especially with doctors on AI, we get approached by a lot of them, but one-on-one. क्या AI doctors को replace करेगा? That is a question, you know, all of them are trying to find. And our answer is no. AI is not going to replace a doctor, but surely a doctor knowing AI will replace a doctor not knowing AI, right? So all of us, you know, we could be in technical or in other domains. You know, we should at least know enough how to use AI to make our day-to-day productivity better, how to work efficiently, and you know, I think that is the best use of AI, right? So with that, if there are questions from the audience, we can take. Otherwise, we'll end the session. I know this is the last session before. Please, sir.
So we are getting your mic.
So writing the code through AI, and again in DevSecOps, so AI is also checking the code, whether any security vulnerability is there or not. So where to rely AI? Is it writing correctly or it is checking correctly?
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
It is as similar while, you know, engineers taking help from you know, Stack Overflow and those kind of things. You are taking the code, you are generating the code, but you need to be mindful like what you are using, what is compliant in your organization. So, you know, integrating DevSecOps tools will really help you to, you know, find those vulnerabilities. And you can't only rely on AI generative codes, but you need to be mindful or, you know, implementing in your production environment. Anyone?
So was your question like AI is writing the code and reviewing the code, hence how do we, you know, rely on?
Yes.
Yes?
I mean, so one side we are saying AI is good because it is writing the code and we are trusting, right? It's a short code, perfect code, performance-wise, and the secure. But again, we are using the
same AI for maker checker.
For maker and checker,
Right. So to answer your question, I'll tell you. Sorry, I don't know your name.
Kumar.
Kohar. So there is a concept of LLM as judge in AI. So the model, so there are different models, right? This is not just AI. There are different models, like Google has models, Facebook has models. There are OpenAI has their own 3-4 types of models. So what we essentially do here is one model who is actually writing the code. There is another model who is reviewing that code. So the model which is actually good at reviewing things, that model would be perhaps be doing the review part. So this is a concept of evaluation. So it is not the same like person per se when we say AI. So AI is also a group of, let's say, many like different people you can say. So there also it's maker checker where the abilities of each model is very different. The model is tuned to do different purposes, right?
Yeah, may I? So my question again here is, so that model built to maker, for the checker. The maker AI should be smart enough what maker, that checker AI is going to use it to develop that code.
So maker won't have any idea of checker. For example, a typical developer doesn't worry about the reviewer. They will try to write as good code as they can. Similarly, the coding assistants will write as secure, as performant code as they can, irrespective of worrying about what the reviewer AI or reviewer will, you know, who is that person. And the reviewer job is to find bugs, problems, and you know, different vulnerabilities, performance issues, your memory leaks kind of thing in that code. So that kind of a system, it will work. Both system works like isolated.
Great. I think time is
Thank
up.
you.
So
Thank you.
yeah, thanks again for the wonderful question. And again, thanks to all the panelists. We'll end the session here.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please put your hands together. Thank you for such an interactive yet insightful session. And to give away a small token of appreciation to the entire panel, may I invite Mr. Hirdesh Gupta, Associate Director of Technology Engineering, RUPI. Sir, please join in and present this small appreciation we would like to present to all our panelists for the day.